So, two of my biggest enemies were in the news recently: FedEx, not Bloomington, and Sheriff Laurie Smith in Santa Clara County. We're going to be talking about situations briefly going on with both of those debacles. But before we get going, I want to say thank you to everyone that's been sticking with me. A lot of people have been getting unsubscribed lately and commenting about that, so I appreciate those that still stick around. I took a little bit of a slowing down pace. I didn't take a break over the last month or so, but every day this week we're going to have a new video up. We are going to be cranking out content and trying to stay more on top of it. Had to take a little bit of a slower course for a bit, but we're ramping right back up into it. I appreciate everyone that has stuck around. So first, we are going to be talking about the Sheriff Laurie Smith Santa Clara pay-to-play scheme when it comes to CCW permits.
Laurie Smith says she is retiring and leaving office next year. Today, she sat down with KTVU South Bay reporter Jesse Gary to explain why, and she delivered a message to her critics and supporters.
Hang on. At the end there, he said supporters. Who is supporting these people? Who actually is like, yeah, I like Sheriff Laurie Smith? Maybe other than her family. I'm assuming her family does like her.
After nearly a half century in law enforcement, Santa Clara County Sheriff Laurie Smith says she's had enough.
There is no reason for someone that has been doing this sort of work for this long to be in charge of controlling the population. I feel like there should be age limits on these things. These sorts of jobs, I don't think, should be held by people of a more advanced stage. And maybe that's ableist. I don't know.
I really owe it to the residents of Santa Clara County to not have this kind of drama ongoing. They deserve to have a leader in this position that doesn't have accusations against them.
Laurie, there's a very simple way to not have these sorts of accusations thrown at you. For the person who's going to take over after, let's just run it through. It's called being a decent person who respects the rights of others.
Accusations of corruption and criminal misconduct led a grand jury last year to indict Smith. San Jose Mayor Sam Liccardo sought the ouster of the longest currently tenured California sheriff.
Sheriff Smith must resign.
One of the only times you will probably ever see me agree with Mayor Sam Liccardo. For those of you that don't know, Mayor Sam Liccardo is looking to enact some of the most ridiculous gun control that's destined to fail. And now that they've passed it, they're not even sure how they're going to make it work. It's almost like it was all a publicity stunt. Expect this guy to be running for higher positions of power in the near future.
And members of the Board of Supervisors have been catalysts for a state investigation demanding more transparency from her office.
Vilified, absolutely. I really think it's an abuse of power.
An abuse of power. Imagine the person who is keeping people from having a legal means to protect themselves, complaining about an abuse of power.
49 years ago, a fresh-faced Smith started her career at the sheriff's office.
My title was Deputy Sheriff Matron. That was the only job that a woman could apply for.
It was a time when women wore skirts and were paid 15% less than their male counterparts. She led a lawsuit to change that.
I would think that someone that had to live in an era where a certain group of people had fewer rights than other groups of people would understand the importance of civil and personal rights. But it seems as if, when it's not her rights being infringed upon, it doesn't really matter. Why would you care if it's not your rights, right?
She touts successes, such as capturing Ciara Lamar's killer.
Hey, give us another unit over here.
And her deputies confronting an armed gunman during the worst mass shooting in Bay Area history.
Okay, I'm kind of confused about how you see that second one as a win. I personally would expect the bare minimum of the police to be responding to a crime that wasn't prevented by the police. I'm not really sure that you can take that one as like a win. I don't think that one counts. I think let's call that one a mulligan.
The public demands public safety. That's what I'm going to provide.
But in recent years, scandals have mounted. The jail deputy's beating death of Michael Tyree, Andrew Hogan's brain damage due to a lack of deputy supervision, and alleged corruption related to the sheriff's issuance of concealed carry permits.
The public demands protection and then takes the ability for people to protect themselves. in one of the biggest counties in the state, or most densely populated counties in the state. It's almost like she was disarming people and then saying that the public demands protection. Oh wait, that's exactly what happened. So at one point in this, she actually mentions that this is all a lie, that all these allegations will be proven false. Well, let me run a clip from a previous video that I uploaded about, I think over a year ago at this point, showing statistically that the accusations of the CCW permit, it's almost insane how much more likely donators were to actually get a CCW permit than people who did not donate to our campaign fund. Outcomes of concealed carry applications in Santa Clara County. Now, here's people that donated, and 79% of them were approved. Now, here's people that did not donate to a re-election fund. 94% were denied, and 6% were approved.
The sheriff says she's leaving on her own terms and is excited about the next chapter in her life. She's hopeful the slings and arrows she suffered won't harm the office she's led for nearly a quarter century.
Let me know what you think about Laurie Smith down below. We're going to jump right into the FedEx thing, my other biggest enemy in this world.
Back here at home, a FedEx employee is facing federal charges after investigators say he stole guns that were being shipped across the country. The ATF was called in after FedEx discovered 10 guns missing from a shipment.
So I think this is a big reason for people to kind of realize for typical firearms that aren't hard to acquire, it might be worth just acquiring them from a local store instead of having to ship them. I've seen tons of shipping delays, things getting lost in the mail, whether it's firearms or just anything in general, during this past 2 years of the pandemic.
Security conducted its own investigation and surveillance led them to employ Angelo Quintero. Now, they say Quintero originally denied knowing anything, but later told investigators he had one gun and was looking for the rest.
Now, you guys know, I'm not a lawyer. This is not legal advice. Don't talk to the cops. Maybe his lawyer told him to talk to the cops in this instance. Who knows?
He says he left 7 guns in his car outside overnight and claims they were stolen while he was sleeping.
What a case of like instant karma. Guy steals guns, puts them in his car, leaves them in his car overnight, and the guns are stolen. If this isn't an excellent thought-provoking point for those of you that have truck guns, I don't know what is. But it's just crazy that this guy is claiming that they're stolen, because I personally believe that he probably sold these firearms and is trying to avoid saying that he sold them so that he could potentially not face charges of selling of firearms, of stolen goods. I don't know, something like that.
Investigators say they did find a gun still at his home. In court documents, investigators say they believe Quintero was planning to sell the gun.
Yeah, no shit. He was planning to sell the guns, but you know, this is just another instance of FedEx and their employees being out to get us. Let me know what you guys think down below about these situations. Love to hear your comments. Love to hear your interactions. This is just 2 situations that I wanted to cover. More videos later this week. I appreciate everyone's support. You guys know the drill. Have fun, be safe, stay dangerous. Peace.